Dan Ryken. Struggling to success, Dan Ryken.
This is the story of a struggle to read, of the struggles encountered pursuing one's dream, of the struggling to success of one who changed the world. I read the story of a boy named Louis. He grew up in France, lived in the country, his father a harness maker. At the age of 3, Louis is playing on his father's workbench. The owl slips from his hand and bounces. The sharp, pointed tip embeds in his eye. The year is 1812. There is no treatment that can save the eye. Over the next several weeks, the eye becomes severely infected, and then the other eye too. By the age of 5, Louis is totally blind, but he's smart. And the parish priest notices this and arranges for Louis to receive a scholarship to attend the Royal Institute for Blind Youth. Louis's going to Paris. He's only 10. He's terribly homesick. But at the Institute, they have books he can read. They're big and heavy. They only had a few. They're made with embossed letters raised from the page. The blind can read them by touch. Louis becomes a top student at the school. At the age of 12, meets a visitor, the French Army captain, Charles Barbier. The captain has developed a system of raised dots and dashes made with a stylus and a ruler. He calls it night writing. It's used to describe sounds. Louis is intrigued. The feel of the dots excite him. He offers ideas for improvement. The captain has no interest in the ideas of a boy. Louis is so disappointed. But he's determined. He believes the dots can help the blind to read. His friends chide him. He reminds them that if they're not able to read and learn, they won't be able to have opportunities and normal lives. He spends all of his free time exploring ways to combine raised dots. He stays up late at night, experimenting like Edison, thousands of ways to combine the dots. The Institute is damp. Louis is frequently ill. At the age of 15, he's sent back home. Back in the country, amongst his family, he improves. He continues working on the dots. Then it comes to him an idea, a group of 6 dots, 3 across, 2 down, smaller than a postage stamp. Simply raise a dot in the first element. That could be the letter A. There's over 100 permutations of a cell possible. You can describe by touch uniquely letters, numbers, even punctuation marks. Louis has created a language the blind can now read quickly with just the touch of a fingertip. Louis is a 15-year-old blind boy who only wanted to read. He relentlessly pursued his passion and, struggling to success, discovered the best way for the blind to read. 400 years before this invention, Johannes Gutenberg invented movable type. Why? This improvement to the printing press made possible the mass production of books, ushering in the Renaissance, the Age of Enlightenment. It's all about the books. Louis returns to school. At age 18, becomes a teacher. But his struggles are just beginning. There are sighted people opposed to his system, preferring the embossed systems so they can read too. He's diagnosed with tuberculosis. He knows his life will be short. He's even more determined to see this system adopted. At the Institute, there's opposition. The assistant director, Pierre-Armand Dufault, is a staunch opponent of the dots. It is his belief the blind will become too independent and not need the help of sighted teachers. Worse, Dufault gets promoted to director. To make sure the dots are never used again, he confiscates the rulers, every stylus. He burns the books. The students defy Duval, risking being slapped or starved. The older ones help the younger ones, using anything they can find, knitting needles, forks, nails. It's the assistant director, Joseph Gaudet, who risked his job to explain to Duval that if a student of the Institute did invent a successful system, the reputation of the school and its director would be enhanced. It worked. Duval becomes a strong advocate. Every student was issued a Braille slate. At the dedication of the new school, Louis is honored. A demonstration performed. An official opposed cries out, "It's a trick!" Duval, now confident, sends a student out of the room, asks the official to come forward, read something from his own pocket. On stage is read a theater ticket. A student punches the dots. The other student is brought back in and reads word for word so quickly, the official hasn't even made it back to his seat. The crowd, now convinced, applauds wildly for a full 6 minutes. Louis never lived to see the worldwide triumph of the invention of his system. He died at the age of 33. 28 years after he died in America is born Helen Keller, who read Braille books. She became the first blind deaf person to earn a Bachelor of Arts. She said, "We the blind are as indebted to Louis Braille as mankind is to Gutenberg." I believe these words demonstrate that Louis' struggling to success did change the world. Maybe our struggles are blessings. Louis just wanted to read. He relentlessly pursued his passion and made it happen. I believe if we will follow our dreams, pursue our passion, struggling to success, we can too. Madam Toastmaster.